Hi, everybody. This is Julie. I am the Quantum Priestess. You can find me on Instagram under the Quantum Priestess. You can go to my website, thequantumfeather.com. No, I'm sorry, it's .space. Thequantumfeather.space. Today is December 9th, 2021, and this is a recording of my thoughts and some advice that I would like to share with you. So you might be saying, Julie, what makes you an expert to give us advice on anything? Well, I've been reincarnating in this planetary system for a long, long time. I have fought hard to heal my past and to heal my family, especially currently. I've worked for a very long time on psychiatric units, and my eyes have been open for a very long time about what's been happening on this planet. But we are in the birth canal. We are getting ready to start over anew, to enter an age of prosperity and healing for everybody, and to repair relationships with our families and with our families from other planets. A long time, I've been talking about extraterrestrials and UFOs for a long time on the psychiatric unit. And people they would blow me off and think I was crazy. But there were some who would say, Julie, I believe you. I've had patients who've had horrible experiences, traumatic experiences with extraterrestrials, demonic possession, with abuse, torture, neglect, substance abuse. I have walked with those people on my journey through this lifetime. All of us have different abilities. My abilities are those of a healer. A healer is able to help the person in need of healing heal themselves. But we have been programmed to think that we need others to heal us. So we become so dependent on drugs, on the newest New Age movement to help bring enlightenment. Even the use of using astrology and cards and things like that, it has been abused. Those tools are sacred tools of the healer, of the shaman, the medicine woman. Those tools are not meant to be entertainment. And it's a shame that that's what it has to be labeled as, because if we claim it heals, we're wrong. This is a reflection of exactly what has happened over the years with healers. In this inverted place, healers have to brand themselves as entertainers when they really hold the sacred knowledge. So people come to that place of a healer looking for entertainment. And that's where I have been struggling with myself. I'm not here for you to prove anything, and I'm not here for you to not be in a place within yourself to really want healing. Because the programs that you're running within yourself are preventing you. You know, if you keep telling yourself, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, You really can't. So if you come to me for healing and your mind is saying, I can't do this, I can't do this, and you're expecting the healer to do a miraculous healing like Jesus did when he walked this planet, is ill-conceived and ill-formed, and you're ill-informed. In order for you to heal, healers need permission to assist you in that healing. We need your active participation. I think it's been very sad that people, like I do quantum healing hypnosis, and they wanna prove to themselves that they can't be hypnotized and prove to others. And I don't like that it's called quantum healing hypnosis. Dolores Cannon was definitely a pioneer and a woman I respect. But people think that word hypnosis have been, you see people doing street hypnosis. And that is not what we do. We do quantum healing. We help tap into levels of the mind so you can heal yourself. Not to wave my magic wand and heal your pancreas. Anyway, that's my soapbox, so let me get off of it and we'll continue. So, where are you going to be headed into the new year? Are you still in that fear vibration? Are you still stuck in that, oh my God, I can't let go of this job I hate because I'm going to lose everything? Are you still under the control of those beings who have been programming you for a very long time? When we really need to be sitting with ourselves right now, during this time that we have been given, it's a gift. If you want to sit home and collect unemployment, please do, but when you do it, be working on yourself. You see posts on Facebook saying, oh, these people are making more money, and I haven't drawn unemployment, but I'm thinking about it. I've been out of work for over a year. Actually, it's been 14 months. I've been trying to sustain myself on my crafts, my art. But I know the universe is going to provide, and it has. Things have happened that could have destroyed us. We've been through Hurricane Ida. And I'm going to share two experiences. I'm going to share with you when I got sick with so-called COVID, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't even said it. But what I actually think is happening. And so people are getting sick right now. And think back in the beginning, when they started implanting that within your mind. This is what's happening, this is what it's called, and this is what you need to do. We know that everything they told us to do was detrimental to our health, and I can't even fathom how doctors and nurses could not see this based off of what we know. We know oxygen deprivation is going to hurt you. But people are walking around with 2 and 3 masks on. I can't fathom it. Even healthcare workers. That oxygen is what keeps us alive. We use it on patients all the time. When we learn CPR, we're putting oxygen back into somebody's body to help them continue. Why do you think that is helpful? So when this whole idea of that so-called illness was created, what they knew and what I'm going to share with you is that we're going through a transitional period. And I know I have the weirdest accent. Yeah, I'm sorry. I grew up in Louisiana and I lived in Michigan for 16 years, and it kind of converged, and this is what it is. Okay, so when people started getting symptoms, cold, body aches, diarrhea, vomiting, things like that, our bodies go through this every year. Yeah, we know this through the flu season. But what we have forgotten is our bodies go through this because we're going through the transition of purging. We're supposed to be purging our body physically and purging our mind with all those psychological traumas. And I have a video on that. And if you want to understand what I'm saying, you can listen to that. But those powers that be know this. They know that the cycles are set up to clean our bodies. It's a cleansing. Fall is a cleansing. Allergy season in the spring is a cleansing. Well, actually, it's a healing. Fall is a cleansing. Going through those dark days, people tend to get sick during this time. They call it the flu season. It's at the healing season. It starts usually September, October mostly, and it moves through January. And you notice you get sick. And if you're getting sick at this time every year, your body is healing itself. Sickness is just telling you this is what's happening. Now, I'm not talking about those of you who have like major chronic diseases, okay? That's a different topic. This is the normal colds and flus that we get every year. It's a cleansing of the body. What are you doing? You're sneezing, you're coughing, your body is expelling, you're throwing up, you have diarrhea. It's expelling all of the bad stuff. So I got really sick how long? A few months ago. It might have been a little longer, but with the so-called, illness. I was sick for 3 weeks. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink. I was nauseated, vomiting, diarrhea. I got dehydrated. I had to go get fluids. Thank God my husband was here to help take care of me, because he did. And I sat with myself and I thought, after going through all that, what in the hell just happened? I felt like I had radiation poisoning is what I felt like. But the more I thought about it is, I know that one of my purposes here is to help transmute energy. So I live in Louisiana, and I live in an area between two major cities that are notorious for gang members, black magic, between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, the Red Stick. I, myself as a healer, came here to transmute energy for the planet. Because I came because I was called. And Dolores Cannon talks about the earth calling us here. And a lot of us came. A lot of us are here, carrying that spark to help transmute all of this dark. And I know that's exactly what was happening to me. My husband even said, you were vomiting and nothing was coming out, but something was coming out. And I think I was transmuting that energy. Our bodies are able to do what's called, do the alchemical process. I think everybody needs to study the Hermetic information on the 7 principles. And how this is active in our lives. It's who we are. So if you think of the Hermetic Principles, our body and the chakra centers in our body are directly related to each of the 7 Hermetic Principles. And we work with the energy on each of those levels according to how those principles are written. The alchemical process. And how we are able to transmute that energy using the 7 principles. So that's exactly what I was doing. I was doing it for the area I live in, I was doing it for my ancestors, and I was doing it for myself. I've never been that sick ever. And I was asking them to just take me. I was so sick. I just wanted to die. But on the opposite end of that, it really took a toll on my body. I mean, I lost a lot of my hair. I'm half Pacific Islander, Polynesian. I have lots of hair, and my hair started falling out in droves. It's still falling out a little bit. I'm like, what is happening? I felt like I aged 10 years, and this is how much it took out of me. But I feel like I'm coming out of that finally. Like, I had to get on vitamins and proteins and, mushroom supplements and, all that I've been doing just to get my body back to where it needs to be. But it's getting easier because we're starting to transition into that higher vibrational energy, into the new world, into the world we want, into the golden age promised to everyone, even in the Bible. We don't know how connected everything in our life is. So when this illness hit, it disguised, and I'm not going to say it's an illness. See, that's another one of the mysteries. This was a purging. It was a healing. A lot of people who got sick, you really need to understand if they died. Why? Was there medical intervention? What did they do? I wrote it out at home. I went to the ER once when I got to the point where I couldn't walk because I was so dizzy and I was dehydrated. So I did get fluids and a bunch of medicine that I didn't take. It was a normal event. And those of us who went through it fine, who didn't get it, some of us, like my granddaughter was sick for a day, my daughter was sick for a week, and they had mild symptoms, and that's good. Because that means that their structure in their body that is composed of the light and composed of the energy that's coming in, it's able to affect it. I guess, I don't know. I always don't explain myself in the best way. So our energy bodies are really what is going to help us during this time. So if our energy bodies aren't strong and not able to deal with the new energy that's coming in, because that's really what's happening. If you have noticed that the color of our sun's even changed, and I call it like flipping the lens, like we flipped into another lens of light, and that light's filtering through, and that light's affecting us because we're connected to everything, and we're starting to see and experience things here in another spectrum of light. Now, our bodies let us know how well we're going to deal with that. Now, if even the elderly who got sick, if they were treated with love and care, with basic pharmaceuticals like vitamin C, which isn't really a pharmaceutical, it's a natural medicine, and herbal teas, and even some of the medications that they make. Do you think they would have survived? Some people, they have chosen to leave. My mom passed from colon cancer over a year ago. A lot of people are dying from cancer. And cancer is when the dark energy is starting to affect you at a genetic DNA cellular level that is actually causing the body to destroy itself through mutation. That's how the dark side works. They mutate everything. So now they're naming all these different variants when our bodies are still going through this process. So you notice those who have gone through it without that medical intervention and just took care of themselves, surrounded themselves with people who loved them, they really got through it. So the same purpose of any illness is our body just exposing it and expressing it. Now those internal chronic illnesses that we carry with us right now is implants. It's dark implants that have breached our energy systems and found its way into our bodies through trauma. So anything like heart related, they like to attack the heart because the chakra systems of the body and of the planet and of the solar system, the heart is a gateway to the higher ones. So if you attack the heart, you cut off that energy from going higher. So people who have heart problems and things like that, there is a dark type of energy that's made its way through your energetic body and is actually implanted itself there and became physical. That's how everything manifests. If you ever seen a seed sprout, it cannot sprout without light. So it has to be affected through the light body to be able to come into this realm of physicality. So as my journey, I was told to by, I had a reading with someone who read my star lineage, that the reason I was here was for that purpose, was to help transmute the energy that has been built up here, because I had a connection here. I've been born in this area before. I have past life in Lemuria and Atlantis. But the water has always held a very special place because I know how powerful it is. And I was meditating the other day and I was told 144, 144, 144 vibration. That we should be charging the water to 144 vibration. Do you know you can change the structure of your water just by using your energy? You can raise the energy of water. What I like to do is say, I love you. I love you is the best way. One of the fastest way. They're adding all these chemicals and stuff. Say, I love you. Transmute it. We were made to think that those things that they're attacking us with can't be transmuted. Everything can be transmuted. You just have to know how to do it. And you just have to believe you can do it. So I really want you to think about illness. Now, when we move into the spring, and it's called allergy season, we're sneezing and coughing and blowing stuff out of our nose and all this stuff. The trees are healing us. The trees release pollen, which we have been trained to hate. When pollen is actually a healing agent given to us by nature. It infiltrates our body and it helps purge out, finishes that purging, clears it off. So as you move into, towards the end of spring and into the summer and stuff, you're well. So you're in the height of your ability to create. Your energy is high, it's sustainable. And the trees are really beings, just like the plants and everything, they're here to help us. We have a deep connection with them. And people have no problem chopping down a whole bunch of them to put up a neighborhood, which really hurts me. Like, why can't we live in the trees, with the trees? Why do we have to destroy everything? Haven't you asked yourself that? Why do we have to destroy everything? We interfere with the ecosystems of nature. We're going to kill it. If we just let the natural processes, and I'll tell you another good example. Back, I don't even know what year it was, when the oil spill happened out here in Louisiana off in the Gulf of Mexico, and everybody's saying, oh my God, so many things are going to die, and everything's gonna, people are gonna starve and things like that. I'm here to tell you that the planet, and I think we might have had help too from some higher beings, but the ecosystem is back. Maybe not 100%, but we're eating our seafood, and that's the reason I think they did it too, because seafood is very high in iodine. Oysters have the most zinc. You can put into your body through oysters. It's clean for the most part. It's not as low vibrational as eating beef or something like that, but because of what they put in it, and the way they kill it. So I think they were trying to kill off that that medicine from nature. The beings that we ingest as shrimp and fish and crabs and crawfish, which we love down here in the South, they're part of the land we live on, and when we ingest them, we're ingesting that part of the land. It's part of us already. That's why I think we need to get back to farmers markets, local farmers markets. Quit shipping crap from all over. If you want to try other food, go drive there and experience the culture and the customs. But the food grown in your area is specifically in tune with your bodies. If you feel drawn to live in an area of the world, there's a reason. Because you're a vibrational match for that area. So if you start, people say eat live foods, and okay, yes. Eat the foods that are energetically connected to your body through vibration. The foods grown in the soil that you walk through every day. The foods nourished with the water you drink every day. Plants have the ability to change themselves to create chemicals and stuff that we need. So if you're eating from local farmers, and say the area has a high cases of colds, the plants know this, and they start producing chemicals within themselves to help heal you. So when you purchase from your local farmer's market and you're putting that food into your body, it's giving you exactly what you need. And those of you who think I sound crazy, I hope you're able to start expanding your mind, because that is a cage. If you don't understand the connection we have with nature and each other and the land, the plants, the animals that surround us, you are lost. You are at high risk to be pulled into that AI matrix structure that the other side has been working on for a very long time. You know why they want AI? They don't want to die. They're trying to find a way to be immortal. Why do you think they're doing thought transfer? into clones? Why do you think they're building these bodies that look exactly like ours? Their destiny is death, and that's death of who they are. If we ascend the way we're supposed to, we keep all our wisdom, all our memories, we take it back with us. But when you decide to cut yourself off from the natural flow of things, and you feed off of others to keep yourself alive, and you use AI to the detriment of others and to keep yourself alive, your destiny, and the only destiny you have, is death. There was the other illness I want to talk about is the epidemic of cancer. Like I said, I saw my mom. She passed away from colon cancer. She chose to do the chemotherapy. Many people have done the chemotherapy and survived. But chemotherapy is a poison, so it poisons the body, and it does poison the cancer, but it's a poison. If you're strong enough to overcome that type of treatment, then you will survive. But it sucks the life out of you. Just like any type of illness, it's feeding off of you is what it's doing. Cancer, it feeds off of you. That's how I know that it is a creation of the dark ones, because that's what they do. They like to create these things to feed off of you so they can control you. If we started taking control of healing ourselves the way we're supposed to be healed, nature number one, and that includes what kind of water we're drinking, what kind of materials we're building our homes with, what kind of materials our clothes are made out of. They have told us they've poisoned everything. They've done it to keep our vibration low, because they can't control us at a higher vibration. So through these sneaky, intentional ways that they have created to harm us is how these things get into our bodies. Now, I'm hoping the new technologies begin to come out. I know there are med beds. I know there are high frequency sounds. I know there's a way to raise the frequency of water and ingest it to heal you. I know you can be healed through different types of light. I remember we used to do this in Lemuria. In the temple, we healed people through energy, through crystals, through light, through crystals, through water, through intonation. That needs to come back, because that is how we're going to defeat that virus of cancer. Cut off of what's feeding it. And what's feeding it is the poisons that we're putting into our bodies. I remember there was something else I wanted to say about the whole poisoning. Okay. I've heard people say this, and I'll finish this video, that the dark side writes down things or gives us things in movies, like what they plan to do. We're finding it in cartoons, that things that were in the cartoons, especially The Simpsons, are coming true now. That they have to tell us what they're doing. They do not have to tell us crap, okay? What they're doing is they're planting subliminal messages in us to create those events. So, when you see the Georgia Guidestones, which is written in granite and crammed down into the earth, okay, probably a ley line, what's written on those stones is energetically being fed into the earth, to the ley line energy, because that's what they want. They didn't put those up there so we know. They put those up there so they can create what they wanted. And every time we read it and we think that it's true, we're creating it for them. Every time we see a movie and we go, oh, look, they were telling us in this movie what was going on. You know, unless it's on the reverse end, because there were and are some really good directors, producers, and people who did work in Hollywood who were trying to tell us the truth. But all of these movies about extraterrestrials, I can't stand the disaster movies. I can't stand them because I know it's a program. They're trying to make you create it. We create it. So if we watch this movie, what's the movies? The zombie apocalypse. They kept saying there's going to be a zombie apocalypse. They wanted us to create that. They don't have to tell us what they're doing. They've been doing this for millions of years. Why would they start telling us about it? It's a program. You need to be able to distinguish what's the program for good, what's a program for bad. They know our bodies are susceptible to being influenced by different things. Okay, let me share my card spread with you real quick and then I'll end this video. Okay, so I showed y'all the other day, the cards I use are the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I love this card deck, by the way, and let me put it back because I wanted to read something to y'all at the end of this that I thought was really important that we need to know. Okay, so the first card I got was an inverted spiral. Now, y'all know everything is, all of life can be found within the spiral. It's our journey through the universe. The spiral is a sacred symbol used in many cultures. But this one's inverted. So this is saying, it's talking about the past and what we're moving out of. The inverted spiral is that inverted tree of life I talked about the other day that we've been on. And that our consciousness has been moving down, 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 which was really planned. This isn't an accident. There are no accidents. It was planned for our learning. So we have been descending into the underworld and we have been living in it for a while. So this is the past, this spiral. A lot of sacred ceremonies are done with the spiral. There's a way to use the spiral in meditation, to use the spiral in realigning your own energy for healing, which I will be teaching in my classes. Okay, the second card I got is called Beauty Way, inverted. And there's this beautiful lotus flower. I think it's a lotus, I'm not sure, I don't think. But anyway, and there's a dragonfly coming out of it. This is the perception and the way we look at ourselves. We have been convinced that who we are, our size, our skin, our face, the clothes we wear, we have been convinced that that is the most important thing about who we are. Beauty Way inverted is that inversion has been fed through us through television commercials, TV programs, movies, trying to convince women especially, that our bodies are not sacred, and that unless we look a certain way, that we are not worth anything in society. Even moving into that premenopausal and menopausal stages of our lives, which have been labeled cronehood, have been demeaned, when really that is when women are the most powerful in that stage of their lives. We have been made to think that young women, virgin women, children too, are the most prized, that we are to look younger, to be more attractive, thinner, before our bodies are able to come into its fullness, and that we are less than. This is the distortion we've been living through a very long time. I'm going to mention the transgender situation. Now, there's a difference between someone who really feels like they were born a woman, and I talked about this before, that our bodies started out as both male and female. We were androgynous. The angels were androgynous. We are fallen. Elohim, Elohai, for the most part. Androgyny is our state of wholeness. Why would male and female not be a whole state? They know this, the powers that try to control, that have been controlling us, that are done. They're ended. So they have inverted the way we need to look at ourselves. And if you start investigating how many men are really women and how many women are really men, the last Victoria model runway show was all men, just like women. They've been doing this for a long time because they have inverted the female energy, and they're feeding their matrix of inversion with that energy. So every time we look at it and we don't know what we're looking at an inversion, and we're buying into it and we're feeding it through that very act, through the act of thinking that we have to look and dress and be a certain way, that we're not good enough. Women, do you really think you need to look like a male runway model dressed like a female? Do you really think it's attainable to have that kind of body that's not even feminine? It's time to break that spell. It's a spell. It's a black magic spell. This card is reminding us that this is what we're dealing with right now. That until the feminine recognizes this, and I'm talking about females born females, because that cronehood, motherhood, maidenhood, those are all rites of passages for us. The right to start a menses, the beautiful power within it and what that blood can create. The rite of passage to have a child birthed through your birth canal. It's a feminine, female rite of passage. The right to grow older and hold that beautiful blood energy within your body that you no longer need to expel because it's within you, and it's your gift for bearing the children and bearing those difficult hardships. It's your gift because it makes you more powerful because you hold that blood within you. It gets me upset because that beautiful rite of passage is being destroyed by what they're calling transgenderism. this is something that they have pushed and they are creating. And you can call me prejudiced. I'm not prejudiced. I'm supporting women. I'm supporting the women who have chosen to have those babies birthed from them, who have chosen to deal with what the world is throwing at them while raising them children, to deal with the body aches and pains that they go through during the menstrual cycle and the birthing process. That's our rite of passage, and for you to try to take it away from us it's wrong. It's time for it to stop. Men have their own rite of passage, but I'm talking specifically about women, because now we're seeing men, transgendered men, being winning beauty pageants. Transgendered men on the cover of these magazines when it's supposed to be female, showing the beauty of a female body, and they're putting men up there. How inverted is that? I have nothing against a male who wants to dress as female. I have nothing against a male who wants to take drugs to transform their body into the female body. You know why? Because the female body is beautiful. It's powerful. It carries with it that blood that is needed in this plane to create. So I can understand why a man would want that. I really can. But you are not that. We have experienced our lifetimes as both male and female. So I'm asking the men who still stand with women, who aren't afraid to say, that they still hold respect and honor for the female body the way it is given. Remember your feminine connection when those lifetimes when you're female. Remember your connection when we were whole people, both male and female. See, if that inverted energy, they're trying to steal the energy of the feminine. So when females feel like they have to dress like men and they have to be more masculine, if you want to do that, that's fine. That's on you. But you still have a period and you can still have babies. You're still a female. And you still carry that extra blood within your womb when you're a crone. But you can be a strong woman. But men hold a special power too. And I'm not trying to demoralize men. And see, a lot of that programming done through Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella and the men's gonna come rescue you and men are supposed to protect us on our walk through this world. And if the men are becoming more feminized and unable to stand by us and protect us and help us as we help them with their soul journey, then both of us are lost. Okay, my last card. The last card I got is the Wind, upright. I don't know if you can see this card. And it's sort of blurry, but it's got a lot of movement in it. It has an energy to it of being, creating, changing, flowing. There's a bird there, shows, it carries the bird on the wings. And there is a shamanic figure there using the wind to create this energy vortex. The wind is an agent for bringing in change. we had went through Hurricane Ida not too long ago, and a lot of destruction happened around. I lost a lot of trees, destruction to my home, and we're still dealing with that now. That happened after I got sick. So, but I'm not letting that destroy me. I'm not feeding that sometimes change comes into your life to make it better. So what the sickness has brought to me is a clearer mind and a more focused vision and a better connection to my soul group and to God. What the hurricane brought, even though it's damaged, it took away my favorite oak tree I used to do shamanic journeying through. It's bringing in it's helping us repair things here that needed to be repaired. It's helping to recreate the space into the space that I need to make it a space for healing, to do my healing work. So, the wind is a perfect example. With that storm, the wind was the worst part of it. It did push water. The water did affect and flood and things like that. But so many trees went down during the storm, more than I've ever seen. But the wind has to clear space for things. It brings in a new energy. Like, one of my favorite things to do is open my windows when spring is coming in, because it has that cool breeze, that saying, new is coming. It cleanses the house. Like, I love to open up my windows and let the house just be filled with it because of that clearing out too, like I talked about when we get allergies during that time and we're trying to clear our bodies out. So I wanted to read this because this card's very specific for the directions, and I want you to use the directions of your placement on the planet. So what regions you live in. So I live in the southern region, so the first one is south. So the wind of this time is carrying a new sense of trust. It's helping you gently. It's helping you to discard habits and parts of you that are no longer needed. So the west wind, and in the United States, that would be California, calling to you more introspection, to willingness to make final decisions and to let go of attachment and ego. A lot to do with Hollywood. North, moving to bring you wisdom and strength. And east, carrying clarity of vision and purpose. So that is what message the wind is delivering us. So it's helping us to bring changes. It's energy to bring change into your life and to assist with the energies that we're going through at this time. Thank you for watching my video. I know sometimes I get really long. And, maybe many won't see this, but at least I have it on record. It's going into AI world. And I leave you with the energy and vibration of I love you. We're spiritual warriors. And now is the time for the spiritual warrior. Walk your path.